Hey guys, I'm back. All right, this is code.org CS Discovery. We are on lesson 5 variables. This is part 2, and we are working on level 6. Let's take a look. Okay, so let's read the instruction here. So using a variable many times. This program has one variable called pedal size, but it uses it 8 different times. This makes it easy to quickly make lots of changes to how your picture is drawn. So there's this variable that was created called pedal size, and it's being used 8 different times. And that's the purpose. That's why you want to create variables. That's how variable becomes very handy. You create a variable and you can use it as many as you want. So you don't have to, write long lines and many different lines of codes. All right, so let's take a look. It says, do this. Change the number assigned to pedal sides so the red pedals touch one another. Try to find the size that makes the most sense. Compare your answer with someone around you. All right, let's take a look at our code here. All right, so we have a variable, line 1. A variable is created, and the variable name is pedal size. Remember from the previous level, the rules for naming variable: no spaces, can't start with a number, and whatever it's case sensitive. So whatever you write down here, make sure that's the same down here. It's consistent. And this variable pedal size has the value of 50. Okay. So these are comments, these gray um, uh, blocks here with the two backslash. So this is just comments for programmers to know that, okay, this is the setup. This is the code for pedals. And this is the code to put the flower in the middle. Okay, so to set up, there's no stroke. So this particular block here, it doesn't have a stroke, meaning a line. Okay. Our background will be forest green color, so that's the background color. So the pedal, to draw the pedal, these are the code to draw the pedal. It's gonna be red, so we use the fill block to make it red. So obviously, these pedals will be circle, and it's gonna be red. We remember that the first two number is the location, and then here is where we see this variable being used, which is 50. That's the size. All right, so let's take a look. So we want to change the number. Let's run it first. So right now, if we run the code just the way it is, we have um, our pedal being drawn, and they're not touching each other, but they wanted us to change the number so that the red pedals touch one another. All right, so let's do that. So right now it's at 50. So what would happen if I change this to 75? Okay, so if I change it to 75, so the code will read, so it's going to draw the ellipse at this location, right? There's going to be 4 ellipses drawn, 4 pedals with these size. At first it was at 50, and 50 does not, the pedals does not touch one another. But at 75, we'll see, okay? Let's see. We're going to reset our code and run it again. So it looks like 75 will work. At 75, the pedals do touch one another, and it looks like that. And I think I'm good with that. So let's finish. All right. So level 7. Level 7, we have a bunch of activities that you guys have to do. Okay, and they are A, B, C, D. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4 activities that you have to do. Okay, so for A, we're changing the variable values. So let's take a look. All right. Debug using variables. This program uses the variable circle size to control the width and height of a circle. If you make the circle big enough, it will fill up the entire screen, as in the picture on the right. So this picture. So do this. Change the value assigned to circle size so that the circle fills the entire screen. So we have a variable called circle size with the value of 400. Okay, down here we have a color, crimson, and we have ellipse, so a circle being drawn at this location, and then using this variable. So basically these are the size. It's going to be at 400. So let's run the code and see what it looks like. So when we first run the code, we have a circle being drawn with the size of 400, but they want us to change the value so that it fills the entire screen looking like this. Right now it looks like this. So let's change it. So it's at 400 right now. What will happen if I change it to 415? Let's reset, run 415. It does not fill the entire screen. All right. Well, how about 425? Reset, run 425. Still doesn't do it. I'm going to go back here. Remember, we're not changing it in here. Okay. So whatever's in here, circle size, okay, it's going to take the value that it's over here because that's the variable. Okay. So 500. Reset, run. Still not the entire screen because there's this part of the screen that's still white, the corner. Okay. All right. Well, how about 600? Aha. So 600 will um, fill the entire screen with red. And that's what we want. Finish. Let's move on. All right. So we did A. Let's do B. All right. B. Debug. Variable names. Remember, the debugs mean there's an error. We got to fix it. That's what these yellow triangle represent. Okay, something is wrong with the program below in which it cannot seem to create an image on the right. Can you fix it? So this is what we're trying to do here. We're trying to um, draw these different shapes on our screen, but there's an error. So if we run the code, it's not working. We get this message down here. Okay, so we have to fix our error here. All right, so let's take a look. Line 1, line 2, variables are being created. Okay, there's one variable called x, there's one variable called y. Here are the value that it has. Okay, line 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, are codes that, so there's a variable to draw two ellipse, two circle, and to draw, and also one square or rectangle, right? However, and it's going to have a pink color, deep pink color. So we have the ellipse. Let's take a look at line 5, ellipse. Okay, we have a variable x. Oh, I've noticed something here, right? So if you point to this red things, it says x hasn't been declared yet. Oops, we can't figure out what x is. Huh, well, here's x, here's x. What do you notice that's different? This one is lowercase, this one is uppercase. So that's, remember one of the rule, okay, it's case sensitive. It has to be consistent. If you do a lowercase, well, this right here has to be lowercase. Or either you change this to lowercase or you change this to uppercase. Either way, it has to be consistent. So we fixed that. Now there's no more error message here. Okay. Down here, it said, same thing here. This is lowercase, but this is uppercase. So it has to be the same. So I want to change that. So now we got rid of that. This is right because lowercase, lowercase, and our variable is written in lowercase, the name. So let's reset and run our code and see if it works. Haha, there we go. Looks good. All right, we're ready to move on. Finish. Moving on to C, debug. Again, we're going to be fixing a bug, an error. So let's take a look. Unused variable. In the code below, variables are created, but none of them are actually being used. Can you find spot where they can be used? Okay, so we have three variables here being created: ear size, eye size, center, but they're not being used and they want us to use them. If we run our code, it looks like this. Okay, so ear size. So we have a variable to create the ear size. Okay, let's take a look at the rest of the code here. saddle brown, we have an ellipse, 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 ellipse. We have 4 circle with the color saddle brown. Okay. And then we have blacks. So saddle brown are basically the head. It looks like it's the head, the ears. Okay. And then we have black. So that looks like the eyes and the nose. And then we have a line code. And we have a no fill code with an R. All right, let's take a look. So ear size is at 80. Oh, we see 80 here. So this is the ear. So instead of typing 80, we're just going to type ear size. So what I like to do is I'm just going to copy this so I won't make the mistake. So it'll be faster and more efficient. And I'm going to click in this box and I'm pasting that. And this is 80 also. And ear size, this variable has the value of 80. So I'm going to use the variable instead of typing in the number. Ear size. The eye size 15. So where can I use that? Well, I noticed that there's 15 here. So I'm going to copy. So that's what I would do instead of typing it. So it'll be faster. And I'll make sure that I won't make the mistake of, typing it correctly or changing the case or whatever. So instead of 15, I'm going to type in the paste the variable eye size. Here's another one. Here's another one. All right. And center, there's a value of 200. So I'm going to find, where's 200? Here's 200. So instead of, so let me just copy this. So instead of 200, I'm going to use that variable called center. Center is another 200. So instead of the number, I'm going to paste the variable called center. And here's another one. Paste that. Paste that. Paste here. Okay, I think I've used all of it. All right, let's reset and let's see if it still works. Same thing. So instead of typing a number, I've used a variable. I'm done with that. Moving on. Okay, so last, debug. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have you try this on your own for activity D. All right, if you have any question with that activity, let me know. Send me an email. Send me a message on Go Guardian. Okay, I'll talk to you later and see you next time. Bye-bye.